What if I told you that one single camera release could redefine how we capture the world around us? Not just an upgrade, not just another step in the product cycle, but a bold leap forward that shakes up how photographers, filmmakers, and creators everywhere think about hybrid shooting. Sound dramatic, right? But that's exactly the story being whispered right now about Sony's upcoming full-frame mirrorless camera, the Sony A7V, or as some leaks call it, the A7V Mark V. And if you stick with me, you'll see why this isn't just hype, but potentially the camera that sets a brand new benchmark in 2025. Now, let's rewind for a moment. Imagine being a photographer in the early 2010s. DSLRs ruled the market. The Nikon D850 and Canon 5D Mark IV were the gold standard, and mirrorless cameras were still seen as quirky little gadgets for hobbyists. Fast forward a decade, and Sony completely changed the game with its A7 series, the first truly professional full-frame mirrorless cameras. Ever since then, each release has pushed boundaries, but the truth is, the community has been waiting for something big, something revolutionary. So here's the question. What does it actually take for a camera to feel like the next leap rather than just an incremental upgrade? That's where the A7V story begins. At the heart of it all lies the sensor, and this time, Sony isn't playing it safe. We're talking about a 44-megapixel partially stacked BSI CMOS sensor. Sounds like jargon, but let's put it into real-world terms. Picture yourself shooting fast-moving wildlife, or maybe your kid's soccer game where every second counts. With this sensor, you're not just freezing the action, you're freezing it at a ridiculous 20 frames per second, in full resolution. That's sports-level speed inside a hybrid camera body. Add in the BSI architecture, and suddenly low-light scenarios, like night street photography or concert shoots, become smoother, richer, and cleaner. But performance isn't just about megapixels or frame rates. It's about endurance. Anyone who shot high-resolution video on a mirrorless body knows the dreaded moment when the overheating symbol flashes, that heart-dropping second when your project has to stop mid-shoot. Well, rumor has it that Sony has tackled this pain point head-on with a vastly improved cooling system. Translation? Longer shooting sessions without interruption. Imagine being able to film a wedding, a live concert, or even an entire interview without needing to babysit your gear. Now let's talk video, because honestly, this is where things get even juicier. The A7V is rumored to record 4K at up to 120 frames per second, not line skip, not cropped, but oversampled from 6K. That means cinematic sharpness, detail, so fine you can zoom in during editing and still walk away with beautiful footage. And because it's 10-bit 4:2:2 with Sony's color science, you're working with files that bend to your will in post-production. Push the colors, adjust the skin tones, create that perfect filmic grade. This camera is giving you the tools to truly sculpt your vision. And unlike many cameras that limit you to 30 minutes before shutting down, the A7 versus heat management suggests unlimited recording. That's not just convenient, it's a game changer. But stabilization, oh man, this is another big one. Imagine walking down the street, handheld, no gimbal, yet your footage looks like it's floating. With up to 8 stops of in-body image stabilization, the A7V is practically putting a gimbal in your hands without the bulk. Pair that with Sony's optically stabilized lenses, and you're looking at buttery smooth results for vlogging, documentaries, or even casual travel shooting. Of course, it wouldn't be a Sony release without a huge step forward in autofocus. AI-driven, nearly edge-to-edge coverage, real-time subject tracking. Whether it's a human, an animal, or even a moving car, the A7V knows what you're looking at and locks on. And here's where it gets wild. Machine learning is built into the system. That means it doesn't just track. It predicts. It learns patterns of movement. So when that bird takes flight or that athlete pivots, the focus isn't lost. It's like the camera is thinking with you, anticipating the story you're trying to capture. And let's not forget design. Sony is reportedly drawing inspiration from its flagship models, meaning an ergonomic grip that won't leave your hands cramped after a long day, a crisp high-resolution EVA for lifelike previews, and a rugged build with weather sealing to handle the unpredictable. Think about it. A stormy day shoot, a desert trek, or even just a wear and tear daily professional use. This is a body that's built to last. Now here's where it gets even more practical. Storage and connectivity. Dual slots for CF Express Type A and SD cards. USB-C 3.2 for lightning-fast transfers. Built-in Wi-Fi for streaming or remote control. This camera isn't just about capturing content. It's about managing it efficiently. Imagine recording hours of 10-bit 4K footage, transferring in minutes, and editing without bottlenecks. That's not just convenience. That's workflow revolution. So what's the catch? The price. Reports suggest the Sony A7V will land somewhere between $2,500 and $2,800. Now, that's not cheap, but let's break it down. For that price, you're essentially getting the speed of a sports camera, the resolution of a high megapixel body, the video power of a cinema tool, and the stabilization of a gimbal, all in one. For hybrid creators, that's the holy grail. Instead of lugging multiple cameras, you can now rely on one powerhouse that does it all. And this brings us to the real question. Is the Sony A7V worth the hype? Well, if you're a professional or a serious enthusiast who needs a tool that won't hold you back, the answer leans strongly toward yes. Sony isn't just releasing another incremental model. They're responding to years of community feedback, addressing pain points like overheating, stabilization, autofocus intelligence, and giving us features that actually change how we shoot. So picture this. The year is 2025. Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, they're all competing. But Sony just dropped a body that blurs the lines between stills and cinema, hobbyist and pro, dream and reality. That's what the A7V represents. And if these leaks are true, we're about to witness one of the most exciting full-frame mirrorless releases of the decade. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.